Afternoon, everyone. I was listening to a conversation on TalkSport, of all places, which sometimes you can't garner a lot of what you hear on TalkSport as anything useful at all. But it was Duke McKenzie, Simon Jordan, and Spencer Oliver, and they were talking about something that I kind of noticed a while back, and I've had this discussion with a few other people that it was about Oleksandr Usyk, and Simon Jordan was talking about in the Fury-Usyk fight that when Fury had Usyk sort of hurt with that uppercut, and I think he hurt him to the body a couple of times, when Fury was having that sort of couple of good rounds, that why didn't Fury sort of step in and finish the job? And then when Usyk hurt Fury, it looked like Usyk was certainly trying to finish the job. He ran out of time, and Fury was kind of saved by the bell. But the part that what they were talking about, and they didn't really mention it, but what I think is one of Oleksandr Usyk's greatest strengths and attributes is, and not many other fighters do this, and no one ever really notices it, and no one really ever credits Usyk with this. And for me, it's one of the strongest parts of his game and one of his major assets as a fighter when he's facing other fighters. And it's the fact that how he uses or disguises the situations when he is hurt or not. Now, Usyk has been hurt in quite a few of his fights, but what Usyk does better than almost anyone is he disguises it. Now, in the Fury fight, there was a point where he got hit and he stopped throwing punches and he sort of retreated for a while, but he never shows the signs of being physically hurt. That's as much of an indication that you'll get from Oleksandr Usyk. Is he will kind of, like, his approach will go from maybe being offensive to a retreat, almost defensive, rather than showing the physical signs of being hurt. Whereas when Fury got hurt, for all Fury's boxing knowledge and boxing brain, of which Fury's still got one of the best boxing brains out there, and he knows every trick in the book. There's nothing in the boxing ring that Fury doesn't know or couldn't tell you. But he doesn't disguise being hurt well at all, and a lot of fighters don't. And Usyk does it almost better than anyone. On the flip side of that, he will also use being hurt or almost not being hurt to his advantage. I think it was in the first Joshua fight. I believe it was the first one. He went down from what he gestured as being a low blow. And he went down, he took his time out as he went down against Dubois. And, the Dubois one, technically where the shot landed, technically it was navel or below. It was a low blow, technically. We can argue about where the trunks are and stuff like that. But he will go down and he will indicate a low blow, and he will indicate that he's probably more hurt than what he actually is. And that will buy him time when he needs it. And he done the same against Joshua. And there's a moment in the Joshua fight when Joshua lands a sort of so-called low blow, where you can see the look on Joshua's face. He almost looks panicked, like he's going to lose a point, because this is another great advantage of this tactic of sort of not pretending, but showing the effects of a low blow. And then certainly if your opponent lands another low blow after that and does it consistently, he's probably going to lose a point. But the point being that he chooses his times and uses being hurt or not being hurt to his advantage. When he is hurt or maybe even hurt a little bit, he'll buy more time than he needs and sort of play on the fact that he's been hit low. I mean, when we talk about a Dubois fight, a lot of people said, say that hadn't been called low and he had been given a count, that Usyk would have still beaten the count and got up and won, meaning he wasn't as badly damaged or as badly hurt as he indicated by going down, sort of holding himself below the belt, holding himself around the crotch in the midsection and sort of insinuating that he was in a lot of pain from that shot. Now, what will happen with the flip side of that is when he is possibly genuinely hurt, he may retreat and he may stop showing punches, but he won't show the fact that maybe he scrambled to a degree, because that can have a great difference on your opponent. The fact that he may back off and his punch count may drop, and that may indicate that he's felt some kind of effect from the shot. It's not enough. It's not enough of an incentive to his opponent to go all out to try and end the fight, because the opponent is thinking he's felt the effect of the shot, but he's not hurt to the fact where he is now not dangerous, and I can open up with lesser caution and try and end this fight now. He's hurt. I may step in a little bit more. I may be a little bit more offensive for this period, but I'm not going to go all in because he's not that hurt. He's in a position where he may have felt the shot, but he's still dangerous. And if you're the opponent, that makes a massive impact on the fight and the outcome of a fight, because when Fury got hurt and showed the signs of being hurt and was all over the ring and on the verge of being stopped almost, if you are the fighter who has caused that, in this case it was Oleksandr Usyk, you will pretty much go all out. You'll have a job landing shots at will as you want, because of Fury's now out of sort of hasn't got control of his legs and everything else. He's a swaying, moving target. He's harder to read and harder to land shots. He's open for them, and he's less dangerous in what he may throw back, and the chances of you getting caught are very, very, very low. Whereas when you portray being hurt or not being hurt in the way that Usyk does, now Usyk's opponent, in this case Fury, and in this case in the Fury-Usyk fight, Fury didn't fully step on the gas, because the impression given by Usyk and the way he disguises and handles being hurt will affect the way in which Fury, in this case it was, goes about continuing his attack. He's not going to go all out. Usyk doesn't look hurt enough, and possibly wasn't hurt enough, but it kind of doesn't really matter. The point is that the fact that the way Usyk can manipulate a referee, A, when it comes to the low blows, and manipulate, B, the other fighter in the way that he disguises being hurt. And there aren't many fighters that do that very, very well. I'll tell you one fighter who did do that well was Otto Wallin in the Joshua fight. I think if you go back, it's about a minute and a half into the first round, Joshua lands a straight right hand to the body, and you can hear the shot land. And if anyone who's been in the ring will understand what I mean when I say this, that shot really, really hurt Wallin. And from that point on, all the fight was gone from Wallin. Now, he disguised that really, really, really well. But if you kind of know what the signs that you're looking for, you'll realise that that shot had a massive effect. And kind of that body shot to Wallin at a minute and a half in the first round essentially really ended that fight. From that point on, that fight was over. So, yeah, just wanted to talk about that. It's a quality that doesn't get talked about or isn't noticed or picked up on a lot. And it's a real major part of Usyk's game, is the way that he can disguise being hurt. And if you can disguise being hurt well enough, it will have a massive impact on how your opponent continues to go about the fight and continues to attack. And the way that when Usyk maybe does feel a shot to the body that's borderline, he will portray that very well as a low blow and almost sell it to the referee. Usyk is like the ultimate poker player inside a boxing ring, essentially. Anyway, just a quick video chat about that. We did get the announcement for this card where you have got Joseph Parker against Daniel Dubois. Now, for me, I've got a favourite in that already, and I'll tell you why. And some may disagree. And I think a lot of people sometimes think that I'm not a Joseph Parker fan, or I'm not paying Joseph Parker the respect he deserves. Now, listen, that's not the case at all. I'm a massive Joseph Parker fan. I think he's a great guy. And I think if you look at his resume, he's got one of the best resumes in heavyweight boxing. So he's a top bloke. He's had some top results, and they've all been thoroughly deserved wins. But what I will say is that against Deontay Wilder, there was a lot of credit given to him and Ben Davison for this. Sorry, not Ben Davison, Andy Lee, for this fantastic game plan. Now, to me, and again, anyone who really knows what they're looking at, there wasn't a great amount of tactical genius going on in what Joseph Parker did. The fact was that Deontay Wilder didn't turn up, didn't fight, and didn't let his hands go. Nevertheless, I give Parker full credit, so don't take this the wrong way as I am trying to devalue Joseph Parker's wins. It's not that at all. I'm just saying, in that fight. And then when he fought Zhilei Zhang, again, another fantastically deserved victory. But for me, every time that Zhang touched Joseph Parker, to me it looked like Joseph Parker would go down or was ready to go. And yes, Zhilei Zhang is very heavy-handed. And I'm trying to think of the other opponent, but the name's gone out of my head. But my point being is, although Joseph Parker is on a fantastic roll, I do believe Joseph Parker, to me, has kind of showed the look of being frail or almost ready to go in quite a few fights, and shown the effects of punches. And like, if there was a little bit more or a little bit volume, or the punches had a little bit more, he would have gone. And just the mood that Daniel Dubois is in at the moment, I strongly favour Daniel Dubois over Joseph Parker. And again, I really have to repeat myself in some videos, because no matter how try and clear I try and make the point, I seem to get comments where the point seems to have gone over people's heads. So again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Joseph Parker. I just think timing, I think we've got Daniel Dubois, who is now a bona fide killer, and he's a wrecking machine. And I think Joseph Parker has, to me, shown the effects of someone who is starting to look a bit frail in a boxing sense, starting to get sort of moved and affected by shots regularly, even though he's winning these fights. We'll find out. They're just my thoughts. But going into that, I heavily favour Daniel Dubois. I don't have a dog in that fight. I like both guys. I like Daniel Dubois and I like Joseph Parker equally. Just objectively, from what I see, I do believe, especially the way Daniel Dubois is attacking and the way that Daniel Dubois, how hard he is punching, I believe that is a nightmare for Joseph Parker, and I believe he will possibly stop Joseph Parker. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you all soon.